Hi everybody, it's LeNae. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a new little project for you that is, again, almost a one-sheet wonder. I start off with the intention of these things being a one-sheet wonder, but I add a little bit extra just to get more out of the project. So it's a one-sheet wonder-ish again. And it's just a little flip book, and it's 4 inches by 5 inches. I'm using a paper pack that I used every bit of it, you guys, over the last week. It's Christmas Floral Plaids from Paper Wishes. It's by Hot Off the Press, available at Paper Wishes, and the link for that is down below the video under the Paper Wishes supplies. But I'm just using this as my inspiration piece. We're gonna make a fall version as well. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll learn how I'm going to give both of these projects, two projects, away to one of my subscriber friends. So stick around to the end. All right, so we just open it right here. I have a little Velcro closure. Flips all the way open like this. And then there's another little Velcro closure here. This opens up again. Now, the intention here is to put like, oh, I had this backwards. The intention here is you could put little pockets on these pages. It's a little accordion fold out, or you could put photos. So I have some little vintage photos of my cousins, and they could just go right in there. So cute. Right there. Share these photos. I was so happy to get these photos. And then you could put just little corners. I tore this one away and just make those little gift card holders, little notes. This one has a little blank note in there. So yeah, this one, you guys, really fun to put together. And as I said, ran out of this paper pack, at least a whole one. I had a lot of scraps left over, so I thought I would just show you this part of it. And the link is down below the video. You can get a much better look at it there. All right, so we're going to recreate this in a sunflower version because September in Oregon, there's sunflowers everywhere. So this one, Sunflowers 12 by 12 pattern cardstock, also by Hot Off the Press, available at Paper Wishes. And this one, you guys, so beautiful. I've used this before, and you guys let me know that you loved sunflowers, so we brought it back one more time for fall. This one, beautiful with the borders. Now the project works really, really well. It's a series of, well, it's one main strip, okay, that is 4 inches wide. And then, so it's really good if your paper has a lot of things that you can use vertically, okay? And then you're doing another strip where it's horizontally. So the paper direction, unless you're using an all over pattern like this, the paper direction doesn't matter. All right, here's another. There we go. And then this one. Guys, I just need to like move my camera up. So everybody hold on for a slight earthquake. There we go. All right, much better. And this one, as you can see, I took a big chunk out of for another project. Had one of these over there. And then this one, it's actually upside down. Here we go. And then this one, I love this, with the brown wood, the white stenciling, the sunflowers, and on the back, it's got this chicken wire, more stenciling, and the script writing. And then all of these cutouts. All right, and you get 2 of these signatures in each pack. That's the way it works with all of Hot Off the Press's papers. I usually just show you the one, but yeah, you get 2 of everything. So I am going to pick out some paper here, and then we're gonna cut it down, and don't worry, I'm gonna give you all the measurements on how to do this. All right, so this one, where I love it, and I love the top border, because when this would be a great space here, and then when you fold this over, you're gonna get this on your little flap on the other side, and then this would be so cute. That's what we'll be looking at. Then there's this one where it would be like this. Okay, now on this one, the writing is just, they both have script writing on them. You're gonna have some script writing on one point or the other. I really like the contrast of the white and the brown on this one. Boy, you know, that's just a tough one, but I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is cut some paper to, and it really depends on, like on this side, I'm gonna feature this side, so I'm gonna cut it here. So I'm gonna turn this, here we go. And we're gonna go 4 inches wide. And I will write this down. So it's 4 by 12. There we go. So first cut. So this is the base. It's 4 by 12. All right, and now, so that's this part right here. Okay. And now this part, this little flap right here, that's the part where I'm bringing in some extra cardstock, you guys, right here. All right, and this measures, the cardstock is 8 inches wide by 5 inches tall. So let's write that down. I'm gonna write patterned on here. Okay, and then the cardstock, I'll write solid. And that is 8 inches wide by 5 inches. We're going to do a lot of scoring on these in a little bit. All right, so that leaves us this amount left. Okay, this is 8 inches by 12 inches left. We still have to account for this piece right here. And this piece is 5 inches tall, and it fits in this space. So we're going to go ahead and do our scoring and sort of assemble this part so that we can make sense of what we have left to go on in the center. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for now. I'm going to switch off to my scoreboard. All right, so for this one, I need to put this out of the way. There we go. So this is going to be our top right here. So I'm gonna score it from this side, even though we're gonna be folding it in, just so you can see where we are on the pattern. I was like, where's my bone folder? All right, here we go. So we're gonna score this first at 2 inches, and I will write this down, 2 inches. And then we want a little tiny gusset, like room for everything to kind of sit inside of it. So that's 2 1/8. So this is 2 1/4, so it's just that next little line over, 2 1/8. And then we're skipping all the way down, because that's the middle part of it, to 7 1/8 for another, and then another little gusset line is 7 1/4. So that's it. So let's go ahead and fold these. That's that little tiny gusset right there. So that's what I mean by that little gusset. It's that little squared off point that leaves you a little space in between. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Oops, that's not folding straight. There we go. And then I cut this dark paper. I sort of lost where the other line was. Okay. All right, there we go on that. Now, before we move on, one of the things I wanted to accommodate is these little squared or cut off areas, little triangles that make it into like a little tag shape. My favorite way to do that is just to take your paper and you're just curving it. You're not folding it. Let me grab my big scissors. So you're just curving it so that those two corners are touching. And then you're just going to cut off that one little triangle, not too deep because we don't want it to interfere with the flap. Just a little notch on each side. It just changes the shape of that a little bit. Come on, get those little papers out of the way. All right, there we go. So we're going to fold this up like that. So that is our base. That's what we've got going on. Now, we have a little piece that's going to go on the inside. This piece should fit right in between, just like that. Okay, should be a nice little nested spot. All right, so now we're going to score this at, oops, I didn't write down my scores for the other one. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to score at 2 and then 2 1/8 and then 7 1/8 and then 7 1/4. And that is for this piece. Okay, and now we're going to do this piece and we're going to score that, ooh, weird arrow, at 2 inches and, oops, 2 inches and 6 inches. And these are the flaps. Okay, I'm just going to fold those in. There you go, just like that. And then I'm going to wrap this around my patterned cardstock, which in this case is kind of sad because I have those really beautiful sunflowers, but I'll tell you why. You could do it like this, all right? Absolutely fine if you want to preserve the sunflowers. That works too. But one of the things I didn't show you is on the back here, when you wrap it around, and then I just took my last little scrap of paper and glued it right there, I made it into a little pocket in the back. So that's how we're proceeding with the little pocket. So we're going to go ahead and put this right here. And we're just going to make sure that we're between the top gusset line here and the bottom gusset line here, because we don't want to interfere with the closing of this. Sometimes you have to like shave off a tiny little bit. Ooh, there we go. Let's make sure. So I'm going to have a tiny little gap. That's okay. That's where we put something over the top of it. And we're just going to like straighten this out so that it fits nicely. Because sometimes these marks on our scoreboard are just a tiny bit different than the 5-inch wide base that we have. So good, we're lining everything up. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take this piece and we're going to put a little gusset on there, or a little half circle on there. I want to wait until I have another piece right here, like to put on here. So let's wait a second on that one. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces cut here. Now we're going to return back to this piece. So we need to cut our paper this way to have it fit right in here. All right, so we're going to cut it just slightly below that 5-inch mark that we have right here and right here. So let me grab my paper trimmer. All right, so it's just shy of 5 inches. So it's like 4 7/8 of an inch. This is what we're going to have leftover piece. And now we need to do the dimensions here. And we want it to be, this is 4 inches wide, but we don't want to get in between these folding pieces right here, like that. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do like, we're going to cut it a tiny bit smaller. What did I do on this one? I think I did like 3 3¾ of an inch wide. So we're going to score this at 3 3/4 of an inches. 3 3/4 of an inches? 3 3/4 inches. Okay, so there we are, 3 3/4 right there. And then we're just going to fold that. That's going to be our first page right there. And then the next one right there is at 3 3/4 again, right there. That's the back page. And then we have this little bit right here, and we're just going to cut that off. Now, so that measures 3 3/4 by 7 1/2. So let's write all of this down. So our inside accordion, I'm going to put accordion piece. That is just under 5 inches tall, so it's like 4 7/8 by, and then we're going to trim it actually, because we don't need to have this little extra bit right there. So I'm just going to take my scissors and cut that off. So let's see what that comes out to be. By 11 1/4. All right, and then we're going to score that at, what did we decide? We just got 3 3/4. There we go. I keep flipping it around on you guys. I'm sorry. 3 3/4, and then the next one is 7 1/2. Yes. This dark paper is really throwing me. All right, so our accordion piece then, 4 7/8 by 11 1/2, and then you're scoring that at 3 3/4 and 7 1/2. And it's going to fold up just like this. So that piece is done. We're going to set that aside. And I don't need my scoreboard anymore. So now we have this piece left, and I think we had this piece left right here. So what do we have to do with this piece? What's left? We need to cover these panels right here, and then also just a little strip of whatever's left to go on the back. And I think the panels are the most, they're the most important part. So what I did with this is I'm just going to take the most decorative part of this sunflower, and we're going to just take this paper, which is 3 inches wide. So we're going to cut this to, this is 5 inches tall. We're going to cut this to like 4 3/4 of an inch. Why do I keep saying it that way? 4 3/4 of an inch. And we can get a little bit taller. Okay, and then we're going to cut it in half to 1 1/2 inches. Because we really just want that burst of sunflower. That's the most important part. Like that. Let's see. We're going to cover flaps. So flaps, that's 3 inches by 4 7/8 is what we ended up going with. Sorry, I know sometimes I put inch marks and sometimes I don't. And we're going to put that right there. Just a little glue here. Just want to center those on each side. I always like to move over a little bit from the edge so that we can have some squish room for the glue. Okay. And I noticed I have this little piece right here that's kind of just a little crooked. There we go. Much better. All right, now we have got this piece right here that's left over that we could put right here and trim that and have a pocket. But then we also have these pieces are blank right here. So maybe we could do like a little bit. We have this left. Could we do something with that? This is the part we're kind of working through. let's go ahead and do the pocket part. I think so. So we're going to cut this to 5 inches tall. And we're just going to glue that across the bottom, oops, up one side, just a kind of a U shape there. We're going to put that right there on the middle. And then we're going to take a 2-inch wide circle punch. And we're just going to put that, kind of center it on the patterned paper, and we're only using about 1/3 of the punch. You want the same amount on this side and this side. Woo. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble. Still not really sure that I can do anything on this side. We're going to return to that. All right, so now we're going to take this and we're going to make, this part is the pocket, so we can also just take this. We kind of made a double pocket. Like that. And this is going to go right in there. Like that. And then you want to make sure that these are able to be folded up. This can be folded down. So let's go ahead and do that. Everything is aligned and working, so that's great. All right, and then we do have this little piece left here and a little piece left here. And this is what I'm kind of wondering. What if I take this piece and I'm just going to cut it the same width. I'm going to get every little bit of paper out of this, you guys. And then this piece right here, we're going to cut again. Okay. So what if we glued this piece over here? And what if we did this one and we just overlapped them, and then I glued something to cover the little overlap? That's over too far. Okay, and this whole time I'm thinking, what am I going to glue on that little overlap piece? But I have some thoughts. Right there, we're going to glue something there. All right, so now we have this piece right here. Okay, and we can just glue that in. There we go. Okay, you guys. So it's just going to go just like that. I'm going to find something to glue here and get some cutouts, some other little items, and then we'll finish this project up. I made very good use of my cutout sheet. Okay, and then these are the items I'm using. So here is a border that I cut out, and I'm cutting it in half. And we're just going to put half down here. Okay, just like this. Cut it to 4 inches wide. And then, of course, half up here. And if you're just, you know, not trying to do this with every little scrap of paper in a one sheet wonder, yeah, feel free to use more paper than I am. All right, and then here's a little cutout that I backed with the same cardstock. We can put that just kind of overlapping right there. Usually I would foam tape on this, but I'm trying to keep this as compact as possible because it's all folding up together. Okay, so that's something nice to look at when it gets flipped out. All right, and then this piece right here, since I don't have another piece like I did in the Christmas one where I just tore a little tuck spot, we're just going to glue this like on the bottom and then up the side, putting it right there, and then that just makes a nice little tuck spot like that. You'd be surprised what it can hold. Okay, there we go. All right, and then this little part right here, I have some stickers. I used the big one, but these are Doilies stickers, and they have these great little borders, which I think are so sweet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put one of the little borders just on the edge here, like that. We're gonna go all the way up. Where are my tiny scissors? Actually, I'm gonna cut both of these at the same time. There we go. One up this side. And then we've still got this little spot right here. So how about just like a really sweet little doily? And just kind of overlap the doilies here. And then there's another really cute one to put right here. And it kind of picks up that pattern. Okay, now we're gonna flip this shut. And then I have this piece right here, and I'm going to glue it on just this side only. And how I like to accommodate for the glue is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right along the edge. That way I don't get too much glue over on the other side and then it kind of sticks shut. So you're just putting it on this edge and then on that edge. And that way there's no excess glue kind of seeping over to the other side. I'm going to put that right there. Make sure it's even top bottom, left to right. That's going to open really nicely, and we're going to put a little, this is a 3/8 inch little Velcro dot, and I'm just going to put one on each side. So there is a sticky side, a prickly side, and a fuzzy side. I just like to put them together like that, and then place that on one side and then close it. And then you just burnish that a little bit and it opens really nicely. We're going to do the same right here. Prickly side, fuzzy side. Oops, I grabbed two fuzzy sides. I finally got around to ordering more of these. I use them so often. I think they're just the perfect little size to kind of keep everything together and they don't show. All right, so this one we're going to put right in the middle here. Close that. And then I have a cute little bow we can put right on that flap. And then that's just going to open like that. And I see here I missed a little bit of my border sticking out there. Make sure I don't have the same happening. There. All right. So closes all up nicely. Opens up nicely. Just like that. And then remember, on the other side, there's a little pocket to tuck something there. All right. So I was going to tell you guys how I like to give away my projects to my subscriber friends. So if you're new to my channel, this is how it works. All you need to do is, of course, watch the video all the way through, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And then next week's video, we're going to announce the winner by using their YouTube username, because that's the only way we know you, is by your YouTube username. So we're going to announce that in a pop-up for next week's video. You may have noticed the pop-up in this week's video that was announcing last week's winner. So that's how it works. I do this every time we do a video, every week, every Monday morning. We post a new video, and this is how it works through the week. And let's see, yeah, I ship it out at no cost to the winner. So shipping, you guys, has gotten really expensive. If you would like to help out my channel and contribute to my shipping costs, you could do a buy me a cup of coffee. The link for that is down below the video. You could also do a super thanks. You could do that. That's down below the video. And 100% of that money just goes right to my shipping expenses. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, follow me on my other social media channels. They're listed down below as well. I like to do new little videos on those every week. And all the supplies are either from Amazon or from paperwishes.com, and they're listed down below the video as well. Leave me a comment, you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Definitely participate, because we love to give these projects away. And I'll see you in the next one. Hi everybody, it's LeNae. I have been busy cleaning out my stash of projects that I have done for LeNae Creates giveaways, also projects for other social media accounts, and ones that I've just worked on my own. You guys, we're going to be having a live shopping event on Monday, September 29th at 7 p.m. That's Pacific time. And we're going to be doing this like we did it last time, where we have lots, and there'll be lot number 1, lot number 2, lot number 3, and you can purchase these lots. Definitely mark your calendars. The information on how to participate in this is listed down below this video. And let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh yeah, we're going to have a Q&A, so definitely fire off some questions over on our community page. So you guys, hope to see you on September 29th for our second LeNae Creates Live.